being dead or lost doesn't mean that our lives suck. And I'm sorry for saying it that way. I couldn't find a more elegant way of saying it. And this is one of the things that concerns me sometimes. It's this idea, please don't nod your head like me at that. My wife is looking at me very disappointedly right now. You know me very well, you know one of the things that ticks me off, maybe the thing I mention more than anything else, next to wimpy Christians, is this idea that people who confess their faith in Jesus, who follow Him, who go to church, etc., do that because they're weak, because they're losers, because it's obvious, they pull themselves out of the gutter and need so desperately Jesus, and those are a bunch of, you can go to church because you need that. Well, the fact is, meet the people who come to this church, for one thing, to cause that to fly on its face. The fact is, being dead or lost doesn't have to do with whether the pig pen is a gutter or the penthouse. Being lost or dead is an interior condition every human being has. But the fact is that some of us become aware of it. Some of us become aware of the desperation that exists in our hearts for a relationship with God. And so being dead or lost isn't that our lives suck, but it's that we're living less than the life that God planned for us to live. It's life that's not lived in relationship with the Father. I've tried to find a lot of ways to kind of describe what this looks like. Let me try a couple out on you. There's a Hebrew word, shalom. It's a part of our vernacular. We typically, when we say it, English-speaking people, it means peace to us. And for us, peace means the absence of conflict, right? But the Hebrew concept of shalom was something else. The condition of the world, when it was created, before the fall, was the condition of shalom. God creates this glorious planet with all of its systems working harmoniously together to create a marvelous environment, a paradise in which human beings could have relationship with God and relationship with one another in nakedness and intimacy with God and one another that was not obfuscated by sin or people's attempt to cover their sin up. It was shalom, harmony, independence, unity, everything working together in beauty. That was the condition of the world before it fell. When humanity decided not to do things God's way, the world became something less than shalom. It became a place of conflict and pain and oftentimes agony and evil. And though we see oftentimes glimpses and pieces of shalom, a sunset or a beautiful forest or a young baby in our arms, we somehow know it's not all working together the way that it should be. Could I say to you that life without God lacks shalom? It doesn't mean that it's absent of all beauty. It doesn't mean that there aren't important and meaningful and powerful aspects to it. It just means it's not everything God created it to be. It's less than rather than more than. That's why Jesus invites us to abundant life. That's why Jesus invites us to more and better life. That's why Jesus invites us to what He calls the fullness of life. It's not, when you talk about some being lost, do you get my point? You're not saying, oh, look at that poor lost person.